History of Egypt by Lewis Williams, 2018. All rights reserved by Lewis Williams. Narrated by Mark Anthony and Jason Hill. Chapter 1.
Introductory. Section 1. The Ancient Geography of Egypt. Egypt lies in the northeastern corner of Africa, between the 24th and the 32nd degrees of north latitude. It is bounded on the east by Asia and the Red Sea, on the south by a line drawn east and west through Assuan on the First Cataract, on the west by the Desert of Sahara, and on the north by the Mediterranean Sea. This tract of country is 520 miles long, and on an average 160 miles wide. The area of the entire country is about 100,000 square miles, or about 2.5 times that of Ohio. But the whole of this country is not cultivable. By far the larger part is desert, on the west a low, arid, sandy plain, on the east an arid mountain region. Only the immediate valley of the Nile is arable soil, and this is a very narrow strip, which between Assuan and the delta never exceeds 15 miles in width, and at places is only 2 miles wide. In the delta there is a far wider stretch of cultivable land, owing to the fact that the Nile here divides into numerous branches. But even here all the land is not available for cultivation, owing to numerous great swamps and large lakes. In antiquity the greater part of the delta was swamp and meadowland, and its chief value lay in the fact that it was a good grazing country, and that its swamps and lakes made fine hunting grounds, abounding as they did in all sorts of aquatic birds. The lakes were full of fish, so that fishing was added to grazing and hunting, and thus the country possessed considerable resources even before agriculture became profitable. It is well known that Egypt owes this strip of good land to the Nile. This remarkable river, which rises in the Nyanza lakes in tropical Africa, and has several branches which come from the Ethiopic highlands, is annually swollen by the rains which prevail in the tropics during the rainy season. Already in June the river begins to rise, and continues to swell until about September 15th, when it reaches the high water mark. It then remains stationary until late in October, when it begins to fall, and by January the river is again at its old level. So important was this rise of the Nile to the entire population that the ancient Egyptians made the day on which the river attained its highest level, September 15th, their New Year's Day, called in Egyptian Op Rampet. The inundation brought coolness, humidity, and fertility. The river brought down from the Ethiopian highlands vast masses of mud, which it deposited on the Egyptian soil when it inundated the land, and which remained there when the water receded. Thus an alluvial soil of great depth and richness was produced. The full benefits of the inundation could not, however, be gained without hard work on the part of the dwellers in the Nile Valley. As rain was, in antiquity, almost entirely wanting in Egypt, a carefully arranged system of irrigation was necessary to convey the much needed moisture to the more remote fields. The digging of canals from the river and building of reservoirs were not easy work, and moreover
Sample complete. Ready to continue?